Hello, gentlemen. Today I'm going to break down a scheme for you out of the Colorado doubles Y-off formation. Now, this formation is pretty common. The thing is, a lot of the plays I'm going to break down are kind of scattered throughout playbooks. So just to make things easier, do use a Colorado playbook. But if you look in your playbook and you have doubles Y-off, you're probably going to notice that you do have some of these plays. So the first thing I want to talk about is the custom audibles. So right now I have shark halfback wheel, jet touch pass, Y sail, and PA go slot cross. So I recommend coming out in read option. Now there is one thing I really want to mention about the jet touch pass. So if you come out in read option and then you audible over to jet touch pass, the formation is going to condense, and this is going to be a tell against a good player. If you're playing Timmy down the street, it's not a big deal. He's probably not going to know what's going on. If you're playing a good player, he is going to know. He's going to recognize that you're audibling to a jet touch pass more than likely, especially if you've used it once at least. So you do have a decision to make. You could also just put read option here, and then you could come out in the jet touch pass. And what that's going to do is, there's no condensing of the formation. Like the formation's already condensed, which, it's also kind of a tell, but at the same time, nobody's moving, so they might not pick up on it as much. So you could do it like this, and then if you just don't want to run the jet touch pass, you could audible out to like the read option or any of the pass plays. That's just up to you. I just wanted to give you a couple options. I do think the jet touch pass is good. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, EA decided to program it with different splits. I wish they didn't do that. It would make the scheme a lot better, but that's what we have to work with. So the read option and jet touch pass are both kind of self-explanatory, but just to give a brief overview on the read option, if you hold RT or R2, you're going to see that there is a player with an R above him. That is the read key. That is the player that we're putting into conflict with the read option. So the way you want to read this is just look at that defender with the R above him. If he stands up and like kind of squats, that means he's playing the quarterback. If he crashes down, that means he's playing the running back. In a lot of cases, you're probably going to be handing it off to the running back, but if you need to keep it with your quarterback because the read key is playing the running back, then you press A or X after the snap to keep it with your quarterback. Now in this case, the read key is pretty far out. I would just hand it off to the running back like this. If he's on the line of scrimmage like the defensive end or something, that's when you want to read it. So like right here, I would not run the read option because it's they have a stacked front. You're not going to gain anything positive pretty much regardless, but just read that read key, see what he does. In this case, he stands up. And we got lucky. We kind of bounced around and gained some positive yards, but notice how he stands up. This means he's playing the quarterback. So just let it hand off to your running back. But if he crashes down, you can press A or X and keep it with your quarterback. Okay, so the first passing play is going to be shark halfback wheel. And when we run this formation, you do want to make sure the strong side of the formation is on the short side of the field. So find your tight end and running back, and then make sure they're on the same side as the hash that you're on. So ball is on the right hash, make sure they're on the right. So the first setup is going to be curl your slot receiver, which is Y, drag your tight end, which is A, and then stem that post from B all the way down. And this is the final play art. So this curl and comeback combo is going to be good versus both zone and man. But the first thing you need to do is make sure they're not blitzing you. So like right here, they have a very heavy front where they could blitz us. If they blitz you, you're going to have to get out of your hands very quickly to your drag or to your running back on the wheel. So let's have a quick look. In this case, we had time to throw the comeback. This is going to be great versus, again, both zone and man. I think cover 2 is really the only thing that's going to cover that. So check for a blitz. In this case, they're not blitzing. You can throw the comeback again. I know it looks scary, but just go to practice mode and practice it a couple times. There's your running back wheel. The stem down post is going to be good versus like if somebody's playing a cover 0 and putting flats on the field, like think about double mug mid blitz and putting the ends on hard flats or something. That's when the stemmed S post is going to be good. Otherwise, he's not really a throw. Right here, I think this was some kind of match coverage. But overall, this is a pretty easy play to run. Just to sum it up one more time, make sure they're not blitzing you. If they're not, read your curl, drag, and come back. In this case, they don't play the running back on the wheel. I don't know what kind of flat zone that was from the linebacker. One more time. There's your drag. Quick break before we get back into the scheme. If you guys are looking to level up and start winning more games of College Football 25 and Madden 25, make sure to go to acemadden.com and become a member. When you become a member, you'll gain access to every single scheme we have on both games for offense and defense. So the clips you're watching right now are from the UNLV offense that I dropped. We also have an Oregon offense, Arizona offense. Then we have some defensive breakdowns from like 3-4 odd and double mug for College Football 25. So go check those out. You'll also gain access to Discord. You can ask me questions whenever in there, and you'll just get way better at the game. So go sign up on acemadden.com. Link is in the description as well as the comment section. For shark halfback wheel number 2, we're going to drag the tight end and then deep cross B. This is your final play art. We have a mesh concept over the middle of the field and then a deep cross above it. And against man coverage, typically you'll have a sort of rub here between these two drags. And something that's really great is this stock route from the running back. This is one of the reasons that we call the play. Anytime you have one of these wide wheels, they do a great job. I could have thrown him here for a bigger gain. He just wasn't my first read. But they pull flat zones to the sideline really well and create space for drags. So even if they have a hard flat on the field, you can still throw the drag. So check it again. So right there, you know, they ran into each other. That's going to be pretty rare, I would say. Typically, you'll actually want them to rub. But right there, they kind of just really ran into each other. Like right here, here's the drag, just a really bad rack animation. Let's do it again. You know, that's just like a 3 deep shell, so not super realistic. Right here, this is going to be a blitz. The way I would read this, anytime you think it might be a blitz, read the running back first. That's going to give you a chance to get it out to him hot. In that case, the safety played that really well. Check it again. Here's a good example of why this running back is so good. Notice how he gets played very aggressively by the flat zone. Pulls him to the sideline, opens up the window for this drag. Next up, we have Y sail, and this play is kind of fundamental. It's not really game breaking. It's just easy to read. So all we're going to do is stem the tight end all the way down and then zig your slot receiver. And this is what your final play art looks like. So on the right side of the field, we have a flood concept. If they don't play 2 flat zones, you're going to have something open on the right side. And then on the left, we have 2 really good man-beating routes, a zig and a dig route. So if you don't know what coverage they're in, I would start on the flood side and then go from there. So like right here, that flat zone goes and plays the corner. We had a really bad rack animation, so we didn't really gain anything crazy. So against man coverage, you're going to have the zig and the dig. Both will be really good. Now you can actually put this outside receiver X on a hot routed deep dig. I do think that's slightly better at beating man coverage, but that is optional. So let's have a look again. There is the deep dig. There's the zig. And again, it's just an easy play to run because one side of the field is dedicated to beating man, the other zone. So what's going to be like really good versus this? I would say like a Tampa 2 is really going to limit anything you get from this. Mabel coverage will be good. But we keep getting this really bad rack. We still got 5 yards there. And there might be something to it to make this rack a little bit more. Like to get a better rack animation, there might be like something you can do with your freeform or something. I'm not sure. I've had an issue with rack animations in college football all year. Happens all the time in my go-go offense when I do the makeshift screens. But yeah, that's going to be Y sail number 1. For Y sail number 2, we're going to zig the slot receiver again. We're going to Texas the running back. And then we're going to stem up the deep dig once with the D-pad. So Y, X, hold LB or L1, D-pad up once. And this is your final play art. So it's similar to the first setup. We have a couple differences. We have a deeper dig, which is for spacing purposes really, between this angle route from the running back and the deep dig. It just has better spacing. We have the running back angle route to beat man coverage and put some conflict on the user. Then we have a deep corner route, or the stock deep corner route from the tight end. That's going to get over any kind of stock flat zone. So let's have a look. There is the tight end getting over a stock flat zone. The outside fade is, of course, clearing out the deep zone for us. You'll typically have this if it doesn't get usered. Let's have a look again. So right here, going to have, we're getting pressured like crazy. But if they don't use zone drops, you're going to have that. Typically, you'll have this. That's going to be open versus zone and man. Right here, that was just really good coverage, to be honest. I'm kind of used to him getting more open than that. You can also put him on the hot routed deep dig. Separates a little bit better, in my opinion. But they're both good. So right there, the zig was open. Nothing really got open except for the zig. That's my fault for not taking it. Anytime something's open, always take it. Because you don't know if anything else is going to get open. So don't be greedy. So we had the high-low there between the dig and the angle route. There's a deep corner against any kind of stock zone. That will be open. Right there, tried throwing a deep dig, just didn't have enough time. Also looked like he wasn't really going to separate. Last time, against the cover 2, there's your deep corner. And for the final play, we have PA Go Slot Cross, which is a play I use in Madden all the time. Out of a different formation, but it's the same concept. And let me go ahead and start against the zone real quick. So let's just do Tampa 2. And then I'll move around to different coverages. So I'm going to speed out X. I'm going to slant the tight end. And then your running back you can put on a ton of different things. You could just flat him. You could put him on a post. You could put him on a corner, a wheel, or simply block him. All of them are going to be fine. I'll just block him for now, just to show you he's not really super important. But notice what happens here. This is why the play is so good, because against zone coverage, if they don't user this tight end, he's typically going to be open. Because the speed out keeps the flat on the sideline. This route pulls everything in and up and creates a massive hole for this tight end. And I'll show you against cover 3 as well. We'll get the exact same window. I'll put the running back on something this time. It's like right there. And typically it's going to be even more open than that because people use hard flats and cloud flats and they're not going to get that jam. And if they don't get the jam, then he's going to be like wide open. But yeah, that's how it looks versus like stock zone coverages. Now let's run this a few times against random coverage just to show you you'll be fine against really anything. You'll have something open. Now like right here, this is a man coverage. So what I would personally do, especially if I think it's a cover 0, I would just block the running back. And then I would actually stem the speed out up once with the D-pad, maybe even twice. Just kind of depends if how heavy a pressure they're getting. But this is going to be a better throw for you against man coverage. Just like that, especially if they're playing off coverage. So if that doesn't get usered, tight end's going to be open all the time. And the thing is, at least when I use it in Madden, if they user the tight end, typically Y is going to be open. So it's kind of up to them on what they want to take away. One more time. Should have thrown the tight end a little bit sooner. I was going to see if I could hit the deep cross, but it wasn't open. Anyways, that's it for this game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Please drop a like if you did. It really helps the channel grow. And then if you guys want additional help and want to get better at College Football 25 or Madden 25, Go check out Ace Madden, become a member. You'll gain access to every single scheme we have on both games, on both offense and defense. It'll make your life so much easier because we put endless hours into the game figuring it out and kind of breaking the game for you. So go check that out on acemadden.com. See you guys in the next one.